everybody, and welcome to another edition of What's Up, Cuz? I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my crazy cousin, the coach himself, Lance C. Irvin, and we welcome you to our regular Monday night show. We got a power-packed show for you tonight, and we'd like to thank all of you who are tuning in. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, for SportsZone Chicago, go ahead and like and subscribe to that page. It'll give you access to all of these shows here on our SportsZone Chicago page on YouTube. And if you're listening to us via the app, whether it's the Amazon app, the iTunes app, or the Amazon, or did I miss
Google?
One? The Google Play.
Google Play.
I messed up one time.
You finally messed up. We got you. I know why I got you too. I know because you thinking about Medina Spirit. I can't wait to fry you and Irvin. I can't wait to fry y'all.
Before we get to Medina Spirit, we're going to thank everybody for tuning into the show. Go ahead and download that app of the SportsZone Chicago. You can download it in the places that I just screwed up, but you know where you can download it. Go ahead and download the app and tune into our show. And boy, do we have a show today, Lance Irvin. Do we have a show? Should I tell them who we got on the show?
Who do we have? Jay? Because you sounded excited. Boy, I can feel your passion and your energy.
Well, you know, it's NBA playoff time. It's NBA playoff time. So now everybody's all hyped up, ready to watch the games. So we got our brothers from SportsZone Chicago, because everybody watches them on Saturday morning anyway. You know what I'm talking about. It's the Humidor Sports and Cigar Show, and we got our guys, Ben and Kev. They're coming on at 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk NBA playoffs.
Hey, Jay, you remember last year those two fellas was on, they tried to tell me something about Philly. I can't wait to ask them about Philly this year.
Yes, I'm sure you'll have a lot to discuss.
I have a lot to say with these guys today.
So they're coming on at 7 o'clock. At 6:30, though, before we get to those guys, we're going to talk about our new friend. We got a new friend. We got a new fan of the show. And she wanted to come on, and we wanted to have her because she covers our Chicago Sky. She covers our Chicago Red Stars. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want you on the show because I want to know what happened with Gabby Williams. Because we
can ask her about Gabby and Sarah Gordon all in one city. Jay, you outdid yourself today, cuz I felt it. I can't wait. You outdid yourself.
We got Annie Costabile of the Chicago Sun-Times. Annie is coming on the show at 6:30. We're going to talk to her about everything that's going on with the Sky, everything that's going on with the Red Stars. And then coming up at 7:30, we've got former professional gymnast. He was a member of the USA national team. He's now a co-owner, actually, of the Chicago Red Stars, Josh Dixon. Josh Dixon is coming on the show.
Hey, Jay, you got Josh, you got Andy, you got the Smoke Brothers. Oh, this is going to be a show right here. Yeah, Ivan, we should have a lot of snippets and a lot of I can't wait to get this show started.
Yeah.
I'm getting excited.
And then, of course,
you see how I'm sitting up there.
Our guy Joseph Phillips, he's also going to jump in too to tell us what he's got going on with the Chicago Crusader. And I know he's going to have a lot of thoughts on things that are going on. But we got some topics to discuss, man. We got a lot of stuff. And I'm just going to get right to the best one. Because we got photos talking about this. Lance's dumbass cheating horse, Medina Spirit, ran and finished third place. That's the winning jockey, as you see, turn around looking at his ass as he passed him in the straights. Medina Spirit, who shouldn't have even been running in the race to begin with his cheating ass, ran in the race and finished third.
First of all, watch your language on the show. My honor be so disappointed in your language, Jason. But Ivan, you come on out. Stop hiding, Ivan. Stop hiding. I told you to on the show. You see, y'all won't listen. Ivan, I'm your older cousin. You won't listen to your older cousin, you guys. I told you. Bob, I'm going to call him Bobby. Bobby has a lot of clout in this horse racing business. You guys understand how clout works. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But Bobby's been doing this for about 30 or plus years. Would you agree, Ivan? So you guys thought Medina Spirit, that had a chance to win the Triple Crown, was not going to run in the Preakness. Y'all was crazy. Tried to tell me, he ain't running. Now, what he could do, Jason, what he could do is go hide somewhere. I tried to tell you guys, listen to your elder. Even though he came in third, he had a chance to run in the triple. He had a chance to win the Triple Crown. I didn't say it was right, but my gut told me, if you've been in the business as long as Bob been in the business, right, you know you have some clouts. Some, like my father used to call it, Tony Bars, collateral. And he used it to make sure he ran in the Preakness.
Ivan, you have thoughts on this?
It was show you, because I texted you, Jason. I was like, I had some other choice words to say about this, but it was just, you were right, Lance. Like you were right. Like, it was about the money. It was about where he was stature wise in the horse game. But what is funny is that now, and I know there's some new news about old Bob's ass. There's some new news about him. So I want to go ahead and defer to Jason, because I know Jason wants to get to the new news about cheating Bob.
So old cheating Bob today, Lance, they told him, guess what? His horse can't run in the Belmont now. They banned no horse for the Belmont. And I did say they would do that. So after he done lost the Preakness and there's no longer a chance for him to win the Triple Crown, now all of a sudden they're like, oh, no, you can't have this horse in our race. Are you kidding me? So now Medina Spirit will not be allowed to run in the Belmont, and neither will any of other Bob Baffert's horses. None of them can run in the Belmont.
Well, Bob Baff, a.k.a. Cheating Bob, the organization, Jay, they should be ashamed of themselves, right? If you want to prove a point to me and prove me wrong, why you didn't do it in the Preakness? Yeah. Why you didn't do it then? You didn't do it then because, like Ivan said, there's so much money involved. He had, Bob and Medina Spirit had a chance to win the Triple Crown. You don't want to mess up to win the Triple Crown. If you really want to show the people, prove a point. You're not running in the Preakness. But they were scared, like you and I both know. It was so much money on the line. Bob called his favors in, and his horse was able to run. Now, not running, I mean, the Triple Crown is over with. So now they want to make it seem like they saving face. You're not fooling me. I know y'all don't have a backbone.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. I couldn't believe they did this. And out of protest, I did not bet the race. So that was my way of sending my disgust to them. I just said, well, y'all won't get none of my money because I ain't betting the race because this horse shouldn't even be in it. And I was happy to see him fall apart coming down the stretch.
But did you get your money from the last race?
Oh, man, you know they ain't giving me my money.
None of you guys.
No, man, we got played. But that's Medina Spirit. So it looks like his horse racing career is probably over. And the horse is probably like, but I ain't even do nothing. But hey, that's the way it goes, horse. What can I say? Let's talk about some other news that happened over the weekend. And hey, let's talk about some good news, some happy news. A friend of ours, a young lady who we talked about 3 months ago when we were asking a question about who is the greatest female basketball player to ever come out of Chicago. You remember that conversation?
Yeah, who did we say?
Well, guess who got nominated for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame? Yolanda Griffin.
That looks like Yo-Yo. Jay, you remember now I said she's a young lady that didn't get enough credit, I felt, right? She did it at Carver. She was a good high school player. She was a good college player, and she did it in the WNBA. Like, I thought she doesn't get enough credit as she deserves. She was really, really good. Offense, defense, and she was a nice person. When I used to see her back in high school and see her around, she was a nice person. And she could really play. Woo, can she play?
Yeah, Yo-Yo could play,
baskets.
Man. Yes, she could. She could. She was a beast, man. I would say she's like, what's that?
If Tony Barnes is listening to the show, she used to give Ojo Barnes baskets too.
I forgot Tony Barnes. He is one of them Carver people, ain't he?
Yeah, he was the first person to tell me about Yo-Yo. Then I saw her play one day. I was like, Ojo, why you keep talking about Yo-Yo? He's like, you'll see. And he took me to watch her play. I saw everything I needed to see. But congratulations to Yolanda Griffith.
Congratulations, Yolanda Griffith. And it's a long time coming. And let's not forget, she was a gold medalist too, man. She did it on every single level, man. She was a ball on every single level. So I hope Yo-Yo gets in. And for those of you who are watching, you can get interactive with the show. Don't forget, go ahead and type your comments in the comments section on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll definitely try to get up as many questions and comments as we can as well. So Yolanda is nominated. So thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in, and we're gonna support Yo-Yo. We're gonna help push her in because she needs to be in. Our next topic.
Definitely.
Next topic. Let's talk about our Chicago White Sox. This weekend, they split with the Kansas City Royals. They won 2 games. Kansas City won 2. But there was a lot going on in this weekend series. And I got terrified, absolutely terrified Saturday in the first game that they lost because of this particular photo and this particular incident that happened between Brian Dozier of the Kansas City Royals and Jose Abreu. Ow!
Hey, Jay, this all I did when I saw it. That right there was more than an hour. It brought shivers to me. I was like this. Ooh, I was like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Is he okay, Jose? Is he okay? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of wins. But I was glad he was okay. And he played, what, the next day or the day after, I think?
He played the next day. Brian Dozier is still out, though, I think. He got the worst of it. But, I mean, that was a scary collision. You could actually hear their heads colliding.
But, Jay, did you think they was running? Because Brian Dozier got out the box quick. And, man, they was running extremely fast. But I'm happy that they at least okayed it. But that was a scary moment.
It was a very scary moment.
Like that. And I never thought about that. When you're running that fast.
Yeah, well, and you know, Dozier made the biggest mistake in that he was running with his head down, and you can't be doing that, man. Jose is running in, and you running down first baseline, and he dropped his head, so he never saw him coming. So, you know, I'm sure he didn't intentionally to do it. Yeah, he didn't intentionally mean to do it, but you know, you gotta be careful out there, man. And you know, I'm just glad both of them are all right, but that's all right because I got Jose yesterday. You see what he did yesterday. How he won the game. Look at that slide, Lance Irvin. That looked like he coming in the hole back in the day.
I want to ask you about that. Was he safe? They called him safe. I thought it was close, Jay, on the initial. What you think, Jay?
Of course he's safe. Didn't you just see the picture? I haven't put the picture back up there for Lance. He's safe, man. That dude ain't tagging him.
That glove looked awfully close now.
Close don't count. You got to tag the person, Lance Irvin.
Hey, that was a heck of a slide by Jose, though.
That was an incredible slide.
Back into that play. AJ, I didn't know how he did it. I've said Jose is out. But you know what, though? That's how the Sox been playing, right? You and I talked about it on the show. They're aggressive on the base path, which is allowing them to score 5 runs a game. So now hey, I give Tony credit because I didn't know how it was going to work out early on, Jay, right? But Tony been dialing all the right buttons at this point in time. I said, ooh, Jose went for it, and he got it. So that was a heck of a slide, too.
It really was, man. That was a great slide by Jose, and the White Sox get 2-4. They play in Minnesota tonight. But there's also more breaking news on Jose that we found out right before we came on the show. He's not playing in the next 3 games in Minnesota because on that slide, he hurt his ankle. So he's out in the series against the Minnesota Twins. So the man ran into another man and damn near had a concussion. He's fine. But, you know, today, the ankle is what got him. So he's going to be out for the next 3 games.
Jay, so the incident that looked awfully scary, he comes back to the next day. But a slide that you can do, which you was a good slider too, he gets hurt?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy, man. I don't know if he got hurt on the slide or if he got hurt in the dugout when he was celebrating, jumping around after he found out he was safe. I was like, man, calm down, dude. You're jumping around. But, you know, he's out for the next 3 days, man. So that's unfortunate.
Lance,
so, Jay, let me ask you this, Jay.
Oh, go ahead, Ivan.
Lance, that was just, I'm with you. I'm very, there's a questionable call there. It's a questionable call. I was like, let me get a closer look. I know I got glasses. Let me get a closer look. Let's see, we got a replay. Go back to the replay again.
Oh, God, you do. Now, see, that's a perfect segue for bringing in Joseph.
Q&I Joe.
We're going to bring in Q&I Joe. He going to give us. He is the sports editor at the Chicago Crusader newspaper. He comes on every week to tell us what he's got going on. We're going to ask him the question. Our cousin, Joseph Phillips. Cousin Joe, what's up, brother? How you doing? Oh, he's got somebody with him.
Say hi. Hold your face up. Say hi, Mr. James.
How are you?
Man, I
Sir,
tell
you
you,
in your father's home. He couldn't
the
stadium drop
basketball
tonight.
season.
He can't
I know
stadium
the
drop.
basketball season ends, and now he doing family time with Joseph Phillips.
I'm getting my Cosby on before Cosby.
Well, Joseph, you saw the slide that Jose did yesterday. What did you think? You think he's safe or you think he's out?
Well, hey, when you winning like that, you're gonna get breaks, man. So I thought he was out, but he Jose, man. Jose don't say nothing to nobody. That's the thing I like about Jose. He keeps himself quiet, he does his damage, and then he leaves. Like he's a quiet assassin. So I'm not surprised that he got away with it. He's a high character guy, and he probably didn't say anything because he's like, hey, if you're not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna say nothing.
There you go.
That's how he looked at it.
Yeah, he's definitely well respected around the league, and the umpires like him as well. So no doubt, I thought it was an incredible slide when they showed it from 4 different replays. I didn't think the dude got him, and I think the most telling thing was the catcher. The way the catcher reacted on Kansas City also kind of gave it away. He was like, "I can't believe I missed him."
Right, Kansas City always come up on plays like that, like. They come up short on a lot of things, They have a history of that, but at the end of the day, the White Sox are pretty much dominating not just the American League but Major League Baseball right now. They on fire as predicted, and you're getting all y'all prospects are hitting on all point. Your starting pitcher they're hitting on all point. Your hitters hitting on all point, and then the schedule is hitting on all point. So like hey. This is the perfect storm for y'all. You better take advantage of it because at the end of the day, man, like I said, man, I think y'all gonna dominate from start to finish if y'all can just maintain that confidence and just pretty much don't get in your own way with ego stuff,
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna definitely see. But hey, talking about taking advantage of the schedule, your team, man, the Chicago Cubs, they got to play the Tigers over the weekend. How did y'all do?
You know what? The Tigers aren't as bad as people think they are. Like that kid that pitched yesterday, he had like a 1.4 something ERA. I was surprised we got to him because normally guys like that we struggle,
Mm-hmm.
And we lost to them the other day, 9-8. And that came in the final innings, but other than that, man, like I said, the Cubs are just, they don't know what they want, man. They don't know if they want to really go after this World Series thing, man, or they just want to just be happy with 2016. They really just stuck, man. We don't really know they don't know what they want, and that shows in their everyday effort. Like some days they be ready to go, they patient at bats, and then some days they swinging for the fences and just hit, swinging and missing, So that's why we're stuck in the middle right now. We're in 4th place. You don't want to be there, but that's what it is,
So you saying they need Garrett to come back again?
We need who? Who do we need? I'm sorry, Lance.
Mr. Garrett pitching again. Y'all need to get some energy or something. And let me ask you this, Joseph.
He said you need to get into a fight with Amir Garrett again.
Oh, Garrett. I hear you.
Yeah, you need Garrett back. I mean, because you question their energy again. But I thought they was doing a better job hitting the baseball, right? I thought they was doing more. That's what you need. But I thought they was doing a better job hitting the baseball, right? They got 8 runs the other day. They just wasn't able to pull it out. But I think they're playing a little bit better than what they were early.
It's really Matt Duffy. It's Matt Duffy who is becoming the Ben Zobrist of the lineup right now. Matt Duffy was the runner-up, the Rookie of the Year against far as just with Chris Bryant won the Rookie of the Year in 2015. So he was second runner-up. So Matt Duffy is still a productive player. He's a good bat, high on-base percentage guy, and he's hitting with the best of them in spite of other guys around him struggling. Now, Chris Bryant is back to being Chris Bryant, but the problem is that, like he on his way out the door. Like he don't know what he wants to do, man. And I don't blame him, for producing right now because he's ready to get his money. But it just seems kind of weird to me that you know, now we getting the best Chris Bryant after we needed him, but over the past 3 or 4 years, you know, like where's this been? We needed you, man. You know.
I think so. You saying so? You think Chris Bryant is out the door? There's no chance of him coming back. You think it's over and done?
It's not Chris Bryant that I'm just worried about. It's Scott Boras, man. And you know, Scott Boras is his agent.
Takes you to the cleaners.
Yeah, you know, he's gonna look at them. He's gonna look at the Cubs. They're gonna be like, okay, I told y'all this is gonna happen. Now y'all ready to get you ready? You know, you ready to lose your player, your star player, because he out of here. You know, and I know the Yankees are gonna be waiting. You know, low key, they just quiet right now, but they definitely gonna be waiting in the off season, and they probably Rizzo too.
So Jason, would you pay Chris Brown? I think he makes like $18 million per year, right? Would you pay him upwards to 20 plus a year?
Yes.
Let me ask you, Jay, is he worth that?
Yeah.
That's what.
Yes, he's worth it. I think Chris Bryant is the face of the Cubs. You know, they can say what they want, but he's the face of the organization, and he's a homegrown talent. And one of the things we complained about the Cubs is, you know, them not having homegrown pitching, for one. But you get these guys and came up in your system, you got to be able to keep them. And you know, I was disappointed they ended up letting Schwarber go, even though I can understand the move. But here's another guy that you drafted and you brought him up. Those are the type of guys, if you ask me personally, I think you should try to keep in your system. You traded away Eloy to the White Sox. You traded away Dylan Cease to the White Sox. So, I mean, the Cubs have, you know, Theo, he brought you a championship, but he also did some very questionable things when you look at it now, because these are people who you drafted and who came through your system, and now they're no longer with your organization. And I think that's hurting the Cubs. And
Theo's a shrewd businessman. And also, I just want to add this shout out to Ed Howard, because he's been ripping the cover up the ball lately. So I just want to say shout out to him too.
Hey, Joseph. Hey, okay. All right. Big Ed. Big Ed's on his way. Big Ed's on his
the future.
You're going to need a little bit more than Big Ed, but that's okay. I will be very excited to see the young man come, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Joseph, let me ask you, the Bull season ended yesterday at the United Center. The Bucks played their second and third string mostly. But I'm sure you were probably there for the final home game of the season, along with some fans. Tell us a little bit about what the energy was.
I hope he took his son.
Hey, well, it is a beautiful thing, man. The whole thing when it comes to the Bulls, like, and the fans returning, I think that the fans hold them to such a, you know, to a higher standard where they want to play well for them. You see what I mean? So they can't take plays off. They can't cheat them on possessions. You could get away with that. You see what I mean? When the fans weren't there, when there weren't any spectators. So now that the season is over, now it's time to move on to the off season. And I think this is where, you know, you go out and get that point guard, you know, that, and I think Kobe is actually mature too. Actually, I'm kind of concerned because his development, I don't want that to interrupt his development, because he's actually been playing well at the point guard position for the past 2 to 3 weeks. So his maturation process is taking place, and I think he's learning on the job faster than what we thought he was going to learn. I thought it was going to take 2 or 3 years, how bad he looked, but he actually knows how to play the position right now. And I'm not trying to like jump on the Kobe White bandwagon, but I told him, like, I asked him, I says, how does it feel to be able to redeem yourself after being doubted for so many months? He was like, I always believe in myself. And then he's like, when it comes to guys around me, they don't allow me to get down on myself, you know? I'm a self-starter. I'm a self-motivator, you know? So that just let me know that, you know, he wants to play the point guard position, but something's telling me, you know, we're going to still go out and go get a real point guard. But I'd rather us spend that money on another superstar, you know? So that's just my opinion.
Can I ask you guys this? Do you guys believe in tanking? Do you guys believe in tanking?
Tanking? Ooh.
I don't think it's good for a professional team to do that. It's why they call you a professional. You're not supposed to be out there tanking.
Right. Amateurs do that. Yeah, amateurs.
Because if they would have lost that game, they would have improved their chances in the lottery. I don't believe in tanking either. But now Philly did. But now if they would have lost, Jay, they would have had a bigger percentage to get one of those lottery picks now. So I don't know, but I'm not a proponent of tanking. I hate it. You should play, you get paid to play. But I can tell they didn't believe because they went out and won that game. Because if they were trying to tank, they should have rested their starters too.
I think it was a positive that they went out ended the season on a winning note. You know, like they got beat by Brooklyn on Saturday, even though Patrick Williams had his career high.
24 points.
Which was perfect. You know, like what a way to end the season with his career high 24 points. And the good news I heard today from Zach LaVine, this is the greatest news I heard. He says, and this is what makes me think he's going to sign long term. He was like, Kobe White's going to work out in the offseason with him. Patrick Williams going to work out in the offseason with him. He gave them all invitations, and they was all accepted. So they all going to be working out with each other in the offseason. I think Boot's going to be over there too. So remember I was talking about this earlier in the year about the star players lending out their training regimens to the role players. That's how you're going to get better. You got to learn from the best. And I'm not saying Zach is like the greatest player in the league and nothing like that. What I'm saying is that he has the work ethic, and you can see he has the skill set to be a superstar. You see what I mean? So if he's going to share that confidence with Kobe White, that's going to take his game to another level. He's going to show them the tricks in the trade of Patrick Williams. That's going to take his game to another level. And then you got Booch, and then you got the kid coming from overseas. Don't forget about him, because people be like, the Bulls lost their pick this year. Let me tell you something. This dude that coming from overseas, the only reason why he went second round because they didn't know if he was coming over here. He a top 10 pick.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point, Joe.
He's coming this year. He coming to take either Laurie's spot or my main man Felicio's spot. So
Felicio said, "Man, leave me alone. I'm trying to get my money."
Felicio had a Bugatti on one of the documentaries.
Oh man, leave Felicio alone.
Felicio riding around a Bugatti. I was like, oh,
hell, it need to be repossessed. But anyway, that's our guy Joseph Phillips. Thank you, Joseph, for joining us. Tell us real quick what you're working on this week for the Chicago Crusader newspaper.
Well, I just recently did a nice piece on the president of Talladega College. They revising their football program on the 100-year anniversary of the national championship. They won back-to-back national championship 100 years ago. And I'm doing a piece on that, so that'll be out this week. And then in addition to that, I did a piece on the new head coach of De La Salle High School. They just hired him, He ain't a brother, but he just got hired. And, we did a piece on him. And then in addition to that, the Bulls' final regular season game and, just talking about, just how they went out pretty much. And Billy Donovan, being the first time in his NBA career not making the playoffs as a coach out of his 6 seasons. So I talk about that too. All
right. Well, we'll be checking you out. Everybody check him out at www.chicagocrusader.com. Check out all of Joseph Phillips' work. And his son, thanks for joining us. Your family is always at the stadium, so it's good to see him at home spending time.
Hey, my son playing catcher for the Wrightwood White Sox, okay? And he got his first hit last week, so shout out to my boy Zion Joseph.
Good job, Zion. Keep it going, baby.
All right, Zion.
We're going to take our first commercial break, and then we're coming back. You are watching What's Up, Cuz.
What a play by Bill Russell.
I just arrived to get my COVID shot, and this is one shot I won't block.
Gratitude to a great ball club for a courageous effort.
No Celtics were harmed during my shot. Let's do this together. To learn more about vaccines, visit cdc.gov.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, Lance C. Irvin, you know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's our newest segment.
What time is it? What time is it?
Jump ball.
Here we
where
go.
Lance and I take opposing views on the subject, and Ivan unfortunately has to be in between us trying to negotiate this thing. So, all right, Ivan, what we got going on this week?
Get loose.
So, to start, and Lance is already preparing himself. Look at that. I know Lance is all happy because he won the last one, and he so graciously let us know that this at the beginning of the show. But this week's jump ball question: should Tony Kukoc have been considered for the Basketball Hall of Fame? We're gonna go with Jason first. Let me go ahead and get the clock ready.
Oh, is that right? Oh, Tony.
Oh yeah, I decided. Lance, I'm the mediator here. Lance. I dictated. We're gonna go with Jason. You started off last. Actually, did you start off last Sunday? Am I being unfair?
No, you're right. I'm going first. Get him out.
Oh, okay.
Get on out of here, Lance.
Oh, here we go again.
All right, I got thoughts on this.
Oh my goodness, I want to hear this.
There we go, Jason.
Where's the question? Oh, I'm supposed to go now? Hell no, Tony Kukoc shouldn't be in no Hall of Fame. Are y'all serious? Tony Kukoc never, ever had his own team. Ever. He wasn't even the second best player on the Bulls, for the love of God. Matter of fact, he wasn't the third best player on the Bulls. I put Dennis Rodman. Yeah, he in the Hall of Fame. Pippen. Yeah, he in the Hall of Fame. Jordan, of course, he in the Hall of Fame. Tony Kukoc, are you kidding me? What, we going to put Bill Cartwright into? How about Ron Harper? Ron deserves a chance to go. We going to put Ron in? Y'all got to be kidding me. Tony Kukoc was an average player. Yes, he brought the European wave and people from overseas into the league, but no, Tony Kukoc wasn't that dude. Hall of Fame means the best of the best, not just the best from Yugoslavia, for the love of God. Hell, I put Vlade Divac in before I put him in.
Well,
you know what? I'm about to just come on.
Here we go.
Let me give this young man a history lesson. My cousin, he insulted Vlade. Jason, Vlade is in the Hall of Fame. Drazen Petrovic is in the Hall of Fame. Sabonis is in the Hall of Fame. Tony is probably one of the best 6 international players that we ever had over here, right? He won 11 international championships. He won 3 NBA titles. If you're looking at his whole body of work, like those other Hall of Famers that I mentioned, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. It was a point in time where when they mentioned basketball as being an international game, the first name you heard was the waiter. Tony was destroying guys at the young age of 19. He won every overseas award, international award that you could possibly win. So now he's right beside Vlade, Sabonis. Those guys made the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and he will be. Know your history. Vlade should be in the Hall of Fame. He is in the Hall of Fame.
I will give you that.
I'll say this. Tony, because I was a little kid, you know what I'm saying, watching Tony and the Bulls, like that back end of the three-peat, you know what I'm saying? That was most memorable for me. But Tony, I feel like Tony was so versatile. Like you could do it so much with Tony. And then, like you said, Lance, when he was younger, he was he was dominant overseas, and then he came to the right situation, the perfect situation in the Chicago Bulls, and he performed with them as well. So I feel like you're absolutely right. I think Tony deserves it.
Let me say this. He could have went to the wrong situation, right? And I only say this. It was the right, but it could have been the wrong situation, right? Tony was really, really good. Tony is one of those players that sacrificed his game for the betterment of the organization. He was playing with Michael. He was playing with Scott. Tony, once he got into his groove, he could have got like 25 per night, I think, if he wanted to. If you look at the game, I think it was game 6 or 7 when they was playing the Jazz, game 5, Tony had 30. They could have went to him to score the game-winning shot, but they conceded to go to MJ, which, heck, I'm going to MJ too. But I just think Tony J did what he had to do to fit in with a good team. That's what I think made him a really good player.
He's not a Hall of Fame.
If you're looking at Jay, if you're just looking at his NBA career, if you're just looking at his NBA career, I don't disagree with you if you're looking at it just his NBA career. But if you're talking about his international career, he deserves to be in there if you add international and his NBA career.
Okay, I'll respect that point. I'll respect that point. What do you think?
But
Should
in
Tony
terms of, like you said,
Kukoc be in? Everybody, let us know what you think. You think Lance won the argument? You think I won the argument? Send us your comments. Join the conversation with us. Let us know. We'd love to find out. So we're gonna move on because we got a guest waiting, man. I could debate with you all day long, man.
I'm sitting here. I can't wait. And this is my first
shut
time.
up, man. Let me bring our guest on, man.
Bring our guest on.
So we got lucky.
We're gonna ask Annie who she thinks.
We got lucky. So, you know, we've been talking a lot about our Red Stars. We've been talking a lot about the Chicago Sky. And lo and behold, we had Evan on last week. And I talked to my good buddy Evan. I said, Evan, hey, man, we should get Annie on the show. He's like, yeah, man, she covers the Sky and the Red Star. I'm like, duh, me, yeah. So, and then she wrote a great article earlier, maybe last week, on Gabby Williams, who we had on the show, who's a friend of our show. And we know Gabby left. There's our friend Gabby. And Gabby got traded. And she kind of got the scoop on kind of what was going on. So you know me. I'm like, man, I'm about to get the person to know the information. You know, forget all the gossip. Let's bring on. So we welcome to What's Up, Cuz, the beat writer from the Chicago Sun-Times for our Chicago Sky and our Chicago Red Stars. Welcome to the show, Annie Costabile. Annie, what's up?
Thank you guys. Wow, what a I'm honored.
Yeah, welcome to our crazy little podcast here, Annie. But we have a good time. We talk about some real stuff. And, you know, Lance, I don't know. Do we want to talk about the Sky drama or the Red Star drama first?
Man, pick your poison.
Okay. We'll go. What'd you think, Lance?
Let's go Gabby first.
Yeah. We got to find this out. So, you know, Gabby is a friend of ours, is a friend of the show. She was on. She was one of the first guests we had on the show. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was stunned to find out, you know, she didn't want to come back to Chicago to play because we figured, you know, with the addition of Candace Parker and all the moves that they made, this will be her chance to really go for it and get a shot. Then it came in, she wants to play for the French national team in the Olympics. I'm like, well, they're going to get their asses whooped, but okay, go play. You know, I couldn't understand what was going on. Annie, tell us what the hell is going on with Gabby in the Sky. What happened?
Okay, so listen, first things first, I don't engage in the Twitter drama. Unless a player, their agent, a coach, goes on the record with me, I'm not going to insert my opinion on the situation. So I kind of laid back, waited until all of this was confirmed before I started making or questioning what was going on. And so when I talked to Wade, that was what he said, was that, you know, Gabby wanted out of Chicago in April. And obviously I think there's two sides to every story, and I'm sure Gabby has a story of her own. And I, unfortunately, you know, had reached out to her agent multiple times, reached out to her multiple times, and didn't get a chance to hear back from her. But the interesting thing about it all is that the Sky were trying to move her in April, ahead of the draft. And so the alignment of it all was not so shocking, I think, to people that knew kind of what was going on ahead of time. And I had been told that, in April they were trying to move her. And listen, going into this season with, you know, the salary cap, the Sky couldn't afford to be down one more player, especially with other players on their team that have national team commitments. So as far as taking a broader scope or outlook on it, moving Gabby made sense in terms of clearing up a roster spot that they needed. They needed a player that was going to be here the entire season, because they are already losing Steph Dolson. They're losing a Stu. And then they were going to be without Gabby too. That's three players. That puts them in a really big bind. So I think from that perspective, it makes sense. But obviously when you're talking about a player like Gabby, who wants to lose Gabby? I don't think anybody in Chicago wanted to lose her.
Well, let me follow that up with this, Annie. You know, the NBA has now turned 25 years. You know, is it 20 or 25?
25 the WNBA.
25 years this year. And they're still doing, in my opinion, some rookie stuff. You know, the fact that half of many of the premier players in your league are not going to be able to play this season because of the Olympics. They haven't figured out a way to get around this stuff yet.
But y'all got to consider, like, they're not making the salaries that the men are making in the NBA. So, like, a player like Gabby who can sign a contract and play for the national team as well as play in the WNBA, like, which now, unfortunately, she's suspended for the season, so she won't make her salary this season in the WNBA. But, like, these players are all juggling all of these things, not because like necessarily they always want to be, but it's multiple sources of income. And when you consider that, like, a rookie scale contract is like 70-40, it's like it's certainly not what a rookie in the NBA is making.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
I mean, the league for sure has things to work out in terms of salary, in terms of, you know, making sure that these elite players are paid, you know, maybe don't have to juggle both unless they want to juggle both.
Right.
I think for a lot of players, if they, you know, if you had an honest conversation with them, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them said, like, this is something I do because it supplements my income, not because I necessarily want to be playing 12 months out of the year. Like Courtney Vandersloot and Allie Quigley got back to town and went right back, like, did not skip a beat. They're back on the court. Like, and think about what that does to a person's body.
Yes.
So, you know, I agree. I think the national team commitments, if they could figure out a way where it doesn't overlap, but, you know, it's overlapping for the men too. This is an Olympic year. That's just kind of the way it goes.
Lance, you on mute there.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
Yep.
Do you think with Diamond DeShields, and do you think with the way Stevens played last year, and now you have Candace Parker, do you think that Gabby became expendable with those players over there? Because the Sky are loaded this year.
Yeah.
So now I think they got players that play multiple positions. So it's a hit because I like Gabby, but do you think that she became expendable with those other players?
I hate to use the word expendable because obviously she's an elite player, and I don't think anybody who's that talented, the word expendable is necessarily like what I want to, you know, like Gabby's not expendable, but like in my mind, I always say it as like every player fits, like it's all about finding the right system. It's all about finding the right team, the right place for you. And I think Gabby from day one was asked to play all these different roles instead of necessarily like staying at the 3, staying at the 2. Like she was a lot of times the point, backing up Courtney. She, you know, she was filling multiple roles. She was filling the roles asked of her, and that goes to show like the kind of player that Gabby is. And I think that maybe to use expendable, I think maybe that contributed to her not necessarily standing out in one specific spot to the point where it was like, there's no way we can get rid of her, if that makes sense.
Got you.
Yeah. Whereas, like, of course, a player like Diamond and Khalid, like, they're not going anywhere.
And you have Cooper sitting over there also. So
Copper,
now they have a loaded team. Copper, excuse me.
Oh my gosh. And Kalia Copper, I just have to say now, like with playing alongside Candace Parker, you already saw it in game 1. She had a game high 19 points. And I mean, she took off in the bubble. I think she had a breakout season, had career highs last season. But now this added level of like playing alongside a star like Parker, who's not only a star in her own, like in what she does offensively, but like the way she raises the level of her teammates. I think we're gonna see something really special from Copper this year.
So my follow-up is this: with all the players we just named, Vandersloot, Quigley, Copper, DeShield, is it championship or bust this year?
Good
Like,
question.
is it time for us to win it all? Because we have some really good players now. You know, the Las Vegas Aces are loaded also. So is it
But the
championship
Las
or bust?
Vegas Aces came out flat against the Storm. So everyone had, and let's be real, like the first game of the season really means very little in the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
But I don't think it's championship or bust because of like, well, this is why I think it's championship or bust. Because
Talk to me.
because next season the contracts are up. The only player that, let's see, I think the only I gotta look at the list, but like Courtney Vandersloot's contract's up, Allie Quigley's contract's up, Diamond DeShields becomes a restricted free agent. Kalia is an unrestricted free agent next year. Stephanie Dolson's an unrestricted free agent next year. Candace Parker is under contract for another year. So all of these players that become unrestricted free agents, I'm not saying that means that they want to leave Chicago, but all of a sudden now you're going to see breakout years from players like Ka, players, you know, all the lists I just mentioned. And it's like, if they could go make a bag somewhere else, are they going to stay with Chicago just because, like, it's, you know, it's where they've been, you know, those are all things you have to consider. And I do think James Wade is creating a great environment in Chicago. The players seem like, from conversations that, you know, they have with us, that this is a really like joyful environment. This is a family dynamic. This is like AAU basketball. Like, you're all on the bus and you're like, you know, you want to get food after, and you're like, you're hanging out, you're spending time together on the weekends. Like, this is like slumber parties, like, you know, I don't know about slumber parties, but I'm just saying. So who knows? I mean, maybe you take less because you want to stay around that environment. But all I know is, like, we're going to see breakout seasons from a lot of players who then could parlay that into a bigger check somewhere else.
Yeah, without a doubt. Once again, we're being joined by Annie Costabile. She is the Sun-Times beat reporter covering our Chicago Sky and our Chicago Red Stars. And let's talk a little bit about the Red Stars, who also opened their season yesterday, and it did not go well, Annie. They lost 5-0.
Was it 5-0?
That's a soccer term you have to use, Lance, when the 0 is nil. It's 5-0. So they lost 5-0. Talk to us. What happened with the Red Stars is they did not get off to a good start.
So, oh man, yes. 5-0 is not a great score, especially to start the season, after a Challenge Cup, which, like, the NWSL started its 2021 play with this tournament that they first began last year. It was their bubble season, and it's the Challenge Cup tournament, and now it's going to become a yearly thing. So anyways, they kick off the season with the Challenge Cup. Super high expectations for the Red Stars because they just have a really deep roster. So when you look at the depth on this roster, it's hard to understand why they're struggling. So they finished the Challenge Cup in 4th place. There was expectations that they could bring the championship home. That didn't happen. And then they come into the season against the Portland Thorns and get their butts kicked. And the Thorns are stacked. Like, the Thorns are in my opinion, like, they're gonna win it this year. But so you have to consider how talented that team is, but also, you know, the Red Stars should not have lost 5-0, but they've struggled in their attack too. And so the thing that stood out to me about that was not that they didn't score, because we've seen that, but the fact that they gave up 5 goals. And when you look at their back line, their defense in front of the Listener, it's Sarah Gordon, Erin Wright, Tierna Davidson, and Casey Kruger. And that's an impressive back line. And they did really well against competition in the Challenge Cup. But again, I think the Portland Thorns attack is just really lethal. And it just showed they have kinks to work out. And they also moved Julie Ertz from the back line to the midfield. So, you know, maybe that's proving difficult for them to shake. You know, that change up is proving difficult. But I think the fact that they gave up 5 goals with the number 1 goalkeeper in net, like that was not. They've got things to fix.
Do you think, because it's still relatively early in the season, and like you said, they made changes, they moved people around the field, how much do you think that affected losing 5-0, like Jason said, right? Do you think it was just the movement of the players being moved around, or you think they just came out flat because of the season?
I think they came out flat, but I also think that I don't think there's very many excuses for coming out that flat, especially when you had an entire month-long tournament of play. So I could. Here again, the thing is, like, Portland is great. Like, losing to Portland, not shocking. Losing to Portland 5-0, that's an issue, especially when you have the talent that you have on this team. Like, that to me is what screams, like, what's the issue here? Like, what's going on? Where was the breakdown? And ahead of the game, the players that were made available to the media talked about, like, this is going to set the tone for the season. So what's the tone for the season then?
Oh God!
Please don't
let that be the tone for the season.
Annie, do you think they put so much pressure on themselves? Like, because when you make a statement like that, this is gonna set the tone of the season. Then you come out and you flop. Do you think they put too much pressure on themselves, or like you said though?
I don't know if
Portland really that good. Yeah.
I don't know if it's pressure or maybe like finding the cohesiveness is better way to describe it, because when you have stars like that, and I would say this was the biggest shakeup in terms of additions to the roster that the team has had in a while. So I think finding that cohesiveness is gonna, I guess, take some time. But still, it shouldn't. Y'all should find, like, you've had a month, you know, you've had a month, over a month, and on top of that month of play, you had like 2 months of preseason, like training. So to me, something's not clicking. Yeah. And what's the issue there?
Right. So that's gonna lead me to my next question, Andy, because. So
I like Addie J.
So listen, a week after she appeared on our show, they went to Houston to play the Dash, and the incident happened down there with the security guard and Sarah Gordon. What do you? I don't know what you know about that. You know, the NWSL did an investigation, and but there's been kind of a history of this stuff going on with black players in the NWSL, and we're kind of concerned about that. But do you think that? I don't know, that incident did something to Sarah or the team and has got them kind of off kilter?
I really don't like to speculate on the happenings within an organization when I am like very much not part of that organization. But I will say, in communicating with Sarah for multiple stories and talking to this team, weekly or multiple times a week, like the support within the team seems there, and not even like in a when they're talking to the media, it's there. Like they actively support on social media. They actively support Sarah's foundation, her nonprofit. Yeah. So again, like, I do not want to speak for Sarah when I have not, heard how supportive or unsupportive she feels as a black woman on that team. But from an outside perspective, like, they're saying the right things, and the players are vocally and when the league announced that there was going to be no like the investigation was closed, players were upset. And so I think that seems genuine, but there is no denying the league as a whole struggles very deeply with supporting its black players. and supporting its players of color. And for players to continuously vocalize the fact that they feel unsupported, that's problematic. And then you look at a league like the WNBA, which the WNBA is made up of predominantly Black women. But even when the WNBA was founded, players have spoken, about it. It's like back 25 years ago, there being issues with support in terms of the way they wanted the league to be perceived when it was first established. Like building a women's league is obviously super challenging for a whole list of reasons that we could get into if y'all want to. But so like in conversations I've had with like veterans in the league or now retired players, like there was this energy to put out an image of like, support women playing basketball. But we know like not all women are like, we all are different. Everybody brings something different. So to try and fit everybody into a box, that's messed up. So I think the league has an issue, has a deep issue, because for players to continue to vocalize that they don't feel supported, that's an issue.
I agree. Annie, thank you so much for coming on. And we're going to have you back throughout this season because I like to know what the hell is going on. So I know. I mean, I love my time covering the Sky. I covered them for 4 or 5 years and got to be there where they had Deladonna Fouls when they made the run to the championship. So I know how that beat is. And I can only imagine how challenging it is trying to cover them during the pandemic. And you're trying to juggle them and the Red Stars at the same time. But we're going to have you back again real soon.
I would love to come back.
Because we got
Annie
a
gets
lot
straight
to
to the
about.
point, too.
I know,
Annie
man.
gets to the point where you're
Listen,
bad.
I'm
You're
not gonna
bad.
lie.
I like that, Annie.
Listen, I'm going to be myself from start to finish.
That's right. That's
what it
right.
is.
That's
So-
right. And Armando is one of
Like
our faithful viewers, and he loved this segment too. So
Hey,
you're our type of guest. You are our type of guest. And Lance and I, we're coming out to a Red Stars game this year. So hopefully we'll all be able to get together and talk a little bit. But
hey, let me know. I could easily come down and say hi in the stands. So
okay.
Y'all got to let me know if
that.
you make it out to a game.
Yeah, we'll let you
Love
come
that.
down to us, because if two brothers try to come up to you, the security might stop us. So
Hey, no, if you guys need your press passes, I'm sure they would be happy to have you in the press box.
That'll work. Thank you so much. Annie, tell everybody where they
Thanks,
can
Annie.
find you online.
Yeah, you can find me online at Annie Costabile on Twitter and Instagram. And then be sure to subscribe to the Sun-Times. Support local journalism. We need your subscriptions. We would very much appreciate it. And support women in sports, because we're changing the game, period.
You really are. We really are. And I know we didn't get a chance to talk about the work you're trying to do for equal pay and all that for female athletes as well. I know that's dear to your heart, just like it's dear to mine. But we're going to have you back. We're going to talk more about this. We got a lot more to talk about.
Absolutely. I'm here whenever y'all need me.
All right. Thanks a lot, Annie. We'll see you
bye,
soon.
guys.
We're going to take a quick break, everybody. Then we're coming back. It's going to be some smoke up in here, Lance. Some smoke.
It ain't no smoke in here.
It's going to be some smoke up in here. I know y'all got a lot to talk about.
76ers. Bring out Ben and Kev. Bring him out. Let me get something to drink for this next section.
Coming back, our
Next
brothers from the Smoke Fellas, Ben and KDL, they coming. We're going to talk NBA and the playoffs. You're watching What's Up, Cuz?
Let's get back to normal. How do we do that? Wear a mask, wash your hands, stand 6 feet apart, get tested, and most important, roll up your sleeve and get the shot.
Get the shot. Get the shot.
Get the shot.
I got the shot. I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot, and so should you.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans, and soon they will be available to everyone.
This vaccine means hope. It will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
I want to go back to work and I want to be able to move around.
To visit with Michelle's mom, to hug her and see her on her birthday.
You know what I'm really looking forward to is going to opening day in Texas Ranger Stadium with a full stadium.
We've lost enough people and we've suffered enough damage.
In order to get rid of this pandemic, it's important for our fellow citizens to get vaccinated.
I'm getting vaccinated because we want this pandemic to end as soon as possible.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot.
Now it's up to you.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my crazy cousin, the coach himself, Lance C. Irvin. And before we bring on our next guest, I just got to say this because it's very important for people to understand what today is. Do you know what today is? I don't think my cousin knows what today is. Ivan, how about you? Do you know what today is, Ivan? Come on the screen, Ivan. You know what today is?
I feel like I should know what today is.
I think both of you should know. I'm quite disappointed.
What is the playing game? What is it?
It's the NHL playoffs.
No,
that was yesterday.
Today is, and even for Ben and Kev, they should know this to do. Today is don't get Wesley Snipes. Run down they damn money.
Oh my God.
It's the tax, man. Goodness. Get your taxes in, man. Run the government their money so I don't have them looking up my butt talking about what's your cousin Lance Irvin doing? How much money he make? Because I ain't going to jail for you, cuz. I'm telling you right now.
Know what? Lance C pays this tax. I paid so much in taxes last year, Jay. I felt like Tracy Morgan. Nope. Don't ask me for no more money. Nope. Don't ask me for no more money. Nope. Hell no.
It's tax day, so all our viewers, we encourage you. Please file your taxes. I don't need y'all ended up like Fred G. Sanford and Wesley Snipes and all these other people. Man, y'all file them taxes and give the government their money. You know, we know they going to misspend it, but you still got to give it to them. So just a reminder, you still got a couple hours to make the deadline, but go ahead, file them taxes and get it in. All right, you ready to talk NBA playoffs, man?
Hey, man, I'm always ready to talk.
You got to remember, Lance is joining us from Atlanta today, so if his connection is crazy, that's why. He's joining us from out of state. But we're going to bring on our brothers from the Smoke Fellas. You can check them out every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on the SportsZone Chicago Network. We got Mr. Smoke Fella himself, Ben, and KDL, Kevin. They are joining us. What's up, fellas?
What up, what up, what up? What's going on?
What up, hey, fellas? What's going on?
Hey, Lance. Lance, I think he got you as G Money, man, and he Nino.
It's that time of the year. I know you guys have been waiting for this because you all talk about it every Saturday, the NBA and the playoffs. The playoffs are here, man. The Bulls ain't in it, but we got a lot of teams that's going to be in it. So we want to get some perspective from you guys on, first of all, the first question, absolutely. And Ivan, can you go ahead and put the bracket up for the NBA playoffs? The NBA is doing something completely different this year in that they are doing this play-in round, similar to what they do in the NCAA. First of all, what are you guys' thoughts on the play-in round that the NBA is adding to their playoff structure?
Well, I think I'll go first because I know where KDL lands on this. But I'm going to speak for a fan. For a fan, I'm all in. It gives us more ball, gives you more teams and so forth added to the mix. You know, any given Sunday, it's just basketball, not football. But, you know, you got those teams 7 through 10. Hey, you can go home, as they say. You could be gone fishing. But now as a player, I feel totally different. Because I'm balled all year long, and I've earned the right to be in that 7th or 8th seed, and now you got I got to go and play for those spots. I think that's BS from the player standpoint, and I'm not in total agreement. But for a fan, it's just more basketball and for more stuff for us to talk about on Saturday mornings. Go ahead, KDL.
Well, y'all know I'm pro players, man. If y'all watch the show, y'all know I'm pro players. I think it's ridiculous that if you are the 7th and the 8th seed, right, Normally, you've been in the playoffs. How many years the NBA been around?
A long time, yeah.
And all of a sudden, you know why they knew they was wrong? Because they said if you the 7th seed, you can lose, and you'll get to play the winner of the 9 and 10 game. So they know at least the 7th seed that belongs in there, right? They know they was wrong, so they giving the 7th seed a chance to lose and still make the playoffs by beating the other team. I don't agree with it, man. I know the NFL then went to 17 games, and all sports are trying to make money, stretch it out, make it interesting. I get it. So I get the money part of it. Because now they lucked up. They got LeBron and Steph, game 1 of a playing game. Woo. So for them, I'm just Silver like, I don't care what y'all, we doing this every year. so it's here to stay. It's here to stay. You best believe that. But I don't. Come on, man. You number 7, man. What are we doing? I'm number 7. What are we doing?
I hear you. Lance, what are your thoughts on the new playoff system?
I mean, as a fan, you have to like it, right? I mean, you like it because it's more games and you give them more opportunity to see your favorite player. But as a player, I would hate it. I got to tax my body for another game or two.
Yeah, I feel you on that, Lance.
But with that being said, though, that think of Boston. Boston was just the cream of the crop last year. We was talking about it, or almost the cream of the crop. Now they have to play the Wizards, and Boston is hurt. It's tough. It's tough. And it's one game. Like you said, if you lose, you out.
It becomes 50-50. It's a 50-50 shot now.
Well, it's definitely going to put a lot on the line for the team.
It's like March Madness almost.
I mean, everybody's going to be going out there giving it their best, right from the start because, like you said, then they can go home. So let's start with the East, fellas. So, obviously the Bulls didn't make it this year. Maybe, better luck next year. But, Ben, who are some of the teams you think we should be looking at in the East?
Okay. On the show, I've been critical of Mr. Glenn Doc Rivers, our hometown product, on some of his coaching, especially when he was in the Clippers. But
he was critical last year too. You was critical last year too.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, he eating a lot of crow this year, but carry on.
Nice. Hey, listen, I put a little jerk sauce on that crow, man. I fried it up. And I got to give respect to Doc and what he's done with the Sixers, man. He got our boy Embiid actually sitting down and he eating in the paint. He ain't out there shooting those frivolous threes and trying to, he is in the paint and he's eating. So they're a danger. And I like the guard pickups that they did with Steph Curry brother. I mean, now you got some flow to the offense and they look good. Now, everybody is Nets. Brooklyn. Okay. I get you, but they couldn't catch a cold. And it's a bad matchup if they have to go through Milwaukee because, one, they have no rim protector. They cannot stop the Greek Freak. They can't stop him. He was eating KD for lunch. Now, the flip side, I don't know if it's because of Ramadan or whatever, but Kyrie had lost a lot of weight, and Drew Holiday was having a field day with him on offense and defense, making it real hard for him. So those are teams to watch out. I was kind of high on Miami last year, but I don't know which Miami is coming to play. They ain't got in the limelight. They on the beach, probably hero on cereal boxes and chilling and all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, Miami is kind of a toss up, but you don't want to run into Miami on a good day. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going with the Philadelphia 76ers coming out the East. That's what I'm saying.
Got you. KDL, who you got?
In the East, I'm going to start off with one, man. And I don't really think it's going to happen because this was last year. But I wouldn't be shocked if Miami went in there and beat Milwaukee. I wouldn't be shocked on that. If they put another wall up for the Greek Freak, now the only thing they got is Holiday. Holiday puts them over the top, which is why I agree. That's a difficult matchup for Brooklyn because Holiday was killing Kyrie. He's too big for him. They lost Allen. They lost LeVert. They don't have nobody to protect the rim. So on a good day, Brooklyn Nets can't guard me or y'all. So you got to know in the playoffs, they non-rebounding, rim protection. That's gonna catch up. The fact that you just want to outscore everybody and you play defense, Milwaukee is a bad matchup for them. But what you think gonna happen with the Heat? The Heat ain't scared of them. So depending on where that bracket falls, if I'm looking for a big upset, it wouldn't really be big, but I'll take Miami over Milwaukee. But here's what's gonna happen. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this?
We ready.
If Miami beats Milwaukee, Milwaukee coach gets fired.
Go ahead.
When Boston loses tomorrow, Brad Stevens gets fired. Brad Stevens goes to Milwaukee.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's interesting.
Watch how this play out. Watch how this play out.
Lance,
JP, that's a Nick Rodamus moment right there.
I know. He's going out there. Lance, I'm going to let you respond to that one. Go ahead, Coach.
I'm kind of at a loss for words right now. I'm sitting there like, that's interesting commentary. I think kind of like the only thing about the Bucks that scares me is Giannis good enough this year with his outside jump shot. So when they build a wall, can he consistently make that shot right? I think Drew Holiday was a great pickup, and he did do his thing on Kyrie. But it's a but now. It's a but. I always talk about defense, but with healthy Kevin Durant, Kyrie, all DeAndre Jordan has to do is be serviceable for 20 minutes. I think they can get to the finals. Now, whether they could win the finals or not, I don't know. It depends who comes out the West. But like you guys do say, they don't play no defense now. They don't play. But if the game slows down, some, they got a chance. But I like Boston I think Jaylen Brown injury hurt them, right? So like you said, I don't know about Boston. I can't take Boston. And I think like you said, they're gonna probably lose to the Wizards because the Wizards done won, I think, like 17 out of the last 23, 24 games. The Wizards are rolling. And everybody at first was saying Bradley Beal and Russ, they wasn't gelling right. They're not saying that now. Even though Bradley Beal is on a bad hamstring. But with that being said, though, I mean, I think the East basically, I'm gonna go with the Nets, but I don't feel confident with the Nets, if that makes sense. And I like Philly, like you said. Doc has Joel Embiid playing well.
What do you guys think about the New York Atlanta matchup? That's very interesting. I mean, our former coach Thibodeau has gone out there to New York City, and he took Derrick Rose with him, and all of a sudden, the Knicks are no longer a laughingstock team. They had a pretty good season at 41-31. What's you guys' thoughts on that Atlanta-New York matchup?
I got New York because they got home court. The Garden gonna be jumping. But Trae Young a bad boy, man. But I don't see him. I don't see them beating the Knicks. Like Trae Young's gonna have to go for 30-40 tonight to beat him. Derrick Rose is balling. So let's throw that out. I think he's accepted.
Yeah,
Look, this is who I am. You know, I got the floater. I'm hitting my 3-9. I'm getting people involved. I give you 15, 17, 19 a night, and I'm cool. I think he's settling into it. His body is telling him who he is, and he fits perfectly with Randall. You know, he back with Tibbs. I got the Knicks in that series, man. I got the Knicks.
Interesting, Ben. What you got?
Well, you know, I hate to agree with KDL because that's a bad look, but I have to agree with him on this because.
Well, sometimes you have no choice, but carry
on. But I've watched a few Atlanta games, and I'm sorry, they just a step up from the Nets when it comes to playing defense. I mean, I watched Russell Westbrook torch them for 25 and one half, and nobody could stop him. It's just like, are you serious? I mean, he was one on five, and then when they came off the bench, he gave them some action too. So they have nothing in store for Jay Randall. Nothing in store. They can't stop Jay Randall if you know they had an armored truck. So I think they may win one game, I'll say. And I say they're gonna, like Kev said, they're gonna be rocking in the Garden. But after that, bye.
Yeah, it's over with then. Yeah.
But is playoff run?
Did I lose Lance? I think he's got a
Y'all
bad
lost
connection.
me.
There you go. You got a little bad connection.
I got a bit. Are we giving playoff Rondo enough credit, fellas? Can playoff Rondo get them to beat the Knicks? I don't know, but they got Big Clint back there. Clinton needs to step up big. Clint is gonna have to block some shots. Like, he got to keep D Rose out the paint. They got to keep Rondo from getting to the rim. They got to turn the Knicks into a jump shot shooting team was over with, because the Knicks playing like the old Knicks. That grit and grind. Them boys right there. Hey, boy, Derrick Rose hopping too, boy. He's playing great. So, I don't know, Jay. I'm calling a toss-up. I'm calling a toss-up on that.
You calling a toss-up?
No, man, you can't call a toss-up, man. You got to pick a side, man. You got to pick a side. It's the easy route out. You know, I never thought the Irvins take an easy way out, man. Come on.
You know what? Y'all right. Now y'all really calling me out. Forget it. I'm going to take the Knicks.
Okay,
I'm not counting out playoff Rondo. I'm not counting out playoff Rondo.
Got you. All right, let's move on over to the West, fellas. Utah obviously is the top seed in the West.
Hey, Jay, what about LA Golden State first? LA Golden State.
All right, hold on. I'm going to get to that. Utah is the top speed. You got the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors in that play-in game. That's the game everybody's watching from the start. But when you look at the West overall, it's kind of one of them wide open ones where anybody can win. What do you guys think, Ben and Kev? Who you think is going to be the team to beat in the West?
And
well, Ben know where I'm going, so I'll let him go first.
Well,
we go.
You know, my fellow host down there, I hate to say that he's gonna be so disappointed when they go to the 8th seed and have to play Utah, but that's neither here nor there, as he says. But the like Lance said, the West is wide open. For the first time, there's no true team that you can say this is who's gonna win it all.
I agree.
Because you got the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed, they all viable can win and come out of the West. But then once you hit that next tier, they not short stopping either. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the Lakers down there. You know, you got Denver down there. I know Denver lost their main guy, but they still been holding their own. They've been holding their own, and they didn't fall short. You know, Porzingis is out with Dallas, but he was out much of last year in the bubble.
Right, imagine that.
So, you know, Dallas is still trouble for people. And I know you got Steph Curry and the Pips, but what I'm saying is he having a awesome year. He can get you 62 and not play the fourth quarter. So if he get hot, I mean, man, come on. The West, I can't wait, man. I'm just over here just rubbing my hands like waiting for this to go down, man, especially Tuesday night when Steph Curry going to roll into L.A. and show them why he was a former MVP. Just saying.
Interesting. KDL, what you got?
First of all, that's not the game they're going to win. Golden State going to beat the winner of the 9 and 10 game. They're not beating LeBron at home game 1. That's number 1. And I'm going to Lakers. I'm quite sure everybody know if y'all watch the show. I'm going to Lakers. But I'm going to break it down. I'm not just going to be biased because I'm a Laker fan. I'm going to break it down for you. They're going to beat Golden State because they have no inside game. The Lakers' height is going to kill them at the end of the day. And I don't care if Steph get 50. He's not beating LeBron by himself. He's just simply not. Then the Lakers win tomorrow. They go to 7. They go to Phoenix. Outside of Chris Paul, who been in the playoffs with Phoenix? Anybody? They ain't no experience. They're not gonna beat the Lakers. So now you go on the other. Now this is all bar injury, by the way. Now you go on the other side.
Great point.
You go on the other side now. You got Utah. Now people don't know Donovan Mitchell got the same ankle injury as LeBron. Only he ain't came back yet. At least LeBron didn't try to play it. Donovan Mitchell ain't came back yet. Utah is not beating anybody with a not healthy Donovan Mitchell. I'm telling y'all right now. So every you could go down. The Clippers ain't got no heart. Don't get me started. So you can go down the list, man, of the top teams, and I don't think the Joker can get by deep into the playoffs without Jamal Murray. So it's like everybody got a flaw, and it's really wide open. Like you said, it's no dominant team. But look at the path, man. Look at the path. Now we're not the Clippers and lose to OKC and Houston simply because you don't want to play the Lakers. Now if that ain't the most, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on, man.
And we just kind of talked about
you can't even play that off.
Right, we just kind of talked about that. Lance, your assessment of the West.
The West, and we haven't even talked about Portland yet. Portland has a good team. We ain't talked about Dame, those guys. So we haven't talked about Memphis. I mean, I think Memphis is hungry now. Memphis with Jai, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, the West so loaded, but it's hard to go against the Lakers, though. It's hard if they're healthy, right? You got Phoenix has had a great year. Denver, I think that's injuries. I'm gonna take the Lakers, Jay, but it's hard. It's hard to go against the Lakers, though. And the Clippers, come on, y'all. There's no way. Do you think Mike and the Bulls would have lost those games? Come on, now.
Mike wouldn't have had it.
Come on now. Come on now.
And
That's an insult to basketball.
Here was the thing. I was gonna go with the Clippers until they kind of pulled that stunt. And I was like, oh, y'all don't want to win because y'all already saying y'all afraid of people. You looking ahead instead of playing the game that you're supposed to be playing. I'm like, I can't roll with y'all.
Well, maybe it's I know I was critical of Doc in LA with the Clippers, but maybe it's just the Clippers because the coach is always trash.
Yeah.
Same players.
I'm just saying. So it wasn't Doc, it was the Clippers.
I would agree with you 100% on that.
And I'm gonna go against the Lakers all the time because Kevin loves them so much.
Well, you can do that, but we'll just keep advancing. But look, man, let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all this. If you're the Clippers and you re-sign Paul George, but Kawhi ain't put his name on the dotted line and he's a free agent this summer, you do all you can to make sure he stays, which means you can't have him ducking people. He's coming up on free agent. He was only there 2 years. Now, y'all done locked up PG. But come on, what are we doing? You got playoff Rondo. Rondo's agreeing to this, to dunk people? Come on, what are we doing? And what does that say about you, Ty Lue? Who you should override that. I don't care if the GM wants to do it. No. We can beat anybody. We gonna play. We gonna end up where we end up. It is what it is. I got too many veterans, so many top players to do that.
That's
what we doing? So who signed off on this?
I agree.
Who signed off on this?
Well, Ty Lue ain't been right since AI stepped over him.
He was a Laker back then too.
I will go around the horn real quick and ask everyone here who you got in the finals and who you got winning the championship. Kev, we know who you are, but give me your matchup and who you think gonna win it.
I got the Lakers over the Philadelphia 76ers.
All right. Ben, who you got?
Oh man. Can I take the easy route out like Lance? No? Okay. All right. I'm gonna take the Sixers over the Phoenix Suns.
Okay. Lance, who you got?
I'm doing like Charles Barkley. When y'all ask me next week, my pick's gonna change. I'm taking the Nets and the Lakers this week.
This week.
Taking the Nets and the Lakers this week.
You taking it one game at a time. I like that.
And who you think gonna win it?
The Clippers. No, I'll take the Lakers. I'll take the Lakers until next Monday.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Lakers. And believe it or not, I think Milwaukee will get to the next step. I think they'll win the East, and then I think they're gonna get smoked by the Lakers probably 4-0 in the finals. I'm gonna go with them. I just think they're gonna get over the hump this time. They may not, we'll see. It's playoff basketball.
You got to beat them Philly and the Nets, huh?
I do.
Or we at least one of them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I do. So that's what I'm gonna go with
right there.
It's been some strong predictions on this show.
That's right. And
next week they'll change. You know that, right?
Of course they will.
Right. They're gonna gonna change by next week.
You know that's right. Well, before I let you guys go, I gotta ask you the question that Lance and I debated over our jump ball segment. Don't know if you guys saw it
I want to
earlier.
hear this.
Tony Kukoc, Hall of Fame. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Is he a Hall of Fame player? Yes or no?
Do we have to give an explanation?
Of course.
Of course you do.
I got love for Kukoc, man. Kukoc's got what, 3 rings?
Man.
And at the time, he was deemed one of the best dudes coming from over there, from overseas or whatever. So if this is the Basketball Hall of Fame, because it looks like the credentials change every year.
I
don't know
agree.
if it's NBA, all around, like I don't know, right? But if it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, you put him in. He got 3 rings. Like I say, he was the top dude the Bulls drafted when he was coming over. He was the top player over there at the time. So he came fit in. You know, he didn't move around. He stayed in Chicago. So, you know, got 3 rings. I mean, what we doing? Derek got 1. He in. I say put him in.
Ben?
All right. Now, the basketball player coaching me says no. For the simple fact, you can go into the International Hall of Fame because you was that dude over there. You got chips and all of that over there. But when you come over here to the land of the red, white, and blue, no. But since he was attached to MJ, the championship years, and got them rings, like Kev said, Dirk got 1, he in, he's going to go in. But me, I say no. Yeah, he had the little way to lay up. You know, it was cute. It was cute. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he put up the numbers. You know, I don't even think he close to Ben Wallace type numbers. You know what I'm saying? Ben Wallace had rebounds, champions, you know, rebounds, leading rebounds for years and stuff like that. What did Kukoc actually do besides be, you know, Catwoman for Mike and Scotty? So I say no, but he's gonna get in just for the fact that he was associated with Mike, Scotty, and one of the 3 peats.
I agree. You know, I look at him almost like he was Ronnie on New Edition. I like the way I feel. He is Ronnie in New Edition. I mean, you're part of New Edition, so we gotta put you in.
Put you in.
You ain't do nothing, but you were part of New Edition. That's the way I look at him with the Bulls. You know, Dennis Rodman, of course he deserved to be in. Pippen, of course he deserved to be in. You know, Jordan, of course he deserved to be in. Hell, Steve Kerr gonna go in as a coach. Let's be honest. He gonna go in as a coach.
He gonna get in at some point.
There you go. They gonna put Kukoc in, and it's probably because of what you said, Kev, because of the international. You know, it is technically the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, but you know, I don't know. I think I was trying to give us some stats, but I can't even read that on the screen, Ivan. But I kind of agree with what Ben is saying, that he doesn't deserve to be in, but I also think the attachment he's gonna get in.
Yeah, he wanted the Pips.
There you go. He wanted the Pips, man. He wanted the Pips. He also maybe can sing for New Edition. All right. So, hey, guys, thanks a lot for joining us. It's definitely going to be a fun playoff to watch. And tell everybody where they can tune in to check you guys out on Saturday.
Hey, man, you can tune in here on Chicago SportsZone, man. You can see Humidor Sports Podcast 11 to 1 every Saturday, where we are bananas and we go through all the sports and the craziness of the Smoke Fellas. You know, you can catch us on our Smoke Fella page, our Humidor Shop Top page on Facebook, man. Man, it was just bananas, and we love to ride when people come on and talk that ish with us.
Appreciate it. I know I'm checking you guys out on Saturday. Thanks again for joining us. Everybody, coming up next, Josh Dixon. We're going to talk some gymnastics and some diversity and ownership coming up next on What's Up, Cuz.
Woo! Hey.
Russell. What a play by Bill Russell.
I just arrived to get my COVID shot, and this is one shot I won't block.
Gratitude to a great ball club for a courageous effort.
No Celtics were harmed doing my shot. Let's do this together. To learn more about vaccines, visit cdc.gov.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise. High as the listening skies, let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, we will march on till victory. We will march on till victory. Let us march on till victory is won.
Welcome back, everybody. Jason Palmer, along my crazy cousin, the coach himself, Lance C. Irvin. Are you ready to bring on our next guest to close out the show tonight?
You know I am, but Jay, what about Medina Spirit? Once again, what about Medina Spirit? You're going to listen to your older cousin. I told you.
Whatever,
listen
man.
To your older cousin.
Whatever. I ain't thinking about you.
I'm ready for our next guest, though.
Yeah, I'm ready for our next guest, too. We're going to talk with him about some gymnastics. We're going to talk about African-Americans getting into ownership of sports teams and just all the other stuff this guy does. He is a perfect guest. He comes covers all those categories. So Josh,
he's doing a lot, Jay.
He does a lot, man. He's gonna fit in perfectly with our show. And this guy, he recently was a part of that new ownership group at for the Chicago Red Stars, our women's soccer team here in Chicago. So I reached out to them. I said, hey, is there a way we can get him on the show? We think he would be great for us. They were like, yeah, give us a second to make some phone calls. And he responded right away. So, this guy, he's a native of California. He's currently living out in D.C. He's a graduate of Stanford. So, he's a smart guy if he's a Stanford Cardinal. He graduated from Stanford. He was part of our U.S. men's national gymnastics team. He does artistic gymnastics. And I got to talk to him a lot about that sport. We'll talk to him about some of the stuff Dominique Dawes discussed with us about a couple months ago, too. But we just want to bring him on the show. And thank you so much for joining us. Josh Dixon is here. Josh, what's up, brother? Welcome to What's Up, Cuz. How you doing?
Thank you. I feel so honored. It was such an introduction. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. Here, What's Up, Cuz? We like to bring in a lot of unique guests and people from our community who are really out here trying to do some positive stuff. And you fit the bill perfectly, man. And you've got so much going on. I don't really know where to start. But just give us a little bit of your background and how you grew up and what got you into gymnastics. And you did it at a pretty elite level for a very long time.
Yeah. So I'm from the Bay Area originally, born into a very diverse, eclectic family. Myself and my two older sisters were all adopted into our family. So it's, diversity and inclusion is mainstay right off the bat. Got into the sport actually because both of my sisters did gymnastics, and I would see them at practice, or I would go with my parents to go pick them up. I would see the Olympic Games or national championships on television, and somewhere in my mind I was like, oh my God, that looks so fun, and I think I can do that. So I would try stuff in our backyard. I would go to the open gyms, just really try to mimic what my sisters were doing, and then kind of just took off from there. Started me in classes, and by age 9, I was kind of in the junior national team pipeline, training a lot, but I loved it.
So Josh, starting that early, I take you were one of them kids that was always bouncing around off the house and jumping off of furniture and doing that type of crazy stuff.
Yeah, to say the least. I'm pretty sure I freaked my parents out. If it was, Dad always tells a story of when we were really little. We were on a walk or a hike or something, and I was walking on a ledge where it just kept getting gradually higher and higher and higher, and then there's a drop off, and I was way ahead of my parents. And my dad's like, "Yeah, Kathy, he's just gonna jump off. Like he knows no boundaries with." What he can and can't do here. So I was definitely one of those kids with a lot of energy. We did a lot of different sports. I was thankful to have the opportunity to be exposed to a lot of different extracurricular activities. So pretty active growing up.
You know what, Josh? Let me start off by saying this. I am proud of you for everything that you're doing to help everyone out there in the world. But my first question is this. I'm in shape. I'm in shape. I thought I was cut up, but I saw you out there, and I said, "Man, I need to start lifting some more." So, in order to be a gymnast, what type of training do you have to do? Like, is this one part of your body that needs to be stronger than the other?
No, you kind of just have to be all around. Kind of the misnomer about gymnastics, you don't lift weights just because you have to have a really you have to have a really sharp strength to weight ratio. So you could be lifting and be jacked, but then you'd be really heavy, so you're not going to fly anywhere. that was ages ago. That was when I was still in the thick of it. I was like, wait, is this where I do a plug for tonal connected fitness?
I was going to ask you about that later, though.
We can definitely talk about
That's going to be my follow-up question.
Perfect. But yeah, gymnastics training, you start so young, just with general, like, what is your body doing? How is your body moving in space? And I think it's a great starting sport for any sport, whether or not you continue gymnastics. But as you get older, you start to kind of hone in, okay, yeah, we're good at this, we want to continue. And then your strength and conditioning training gets a little bit more specialized. But because gymnastics is such a full body sport, you're exercising extreme range of motion, you're really touching every muscle group or every piece of your body because you're always working as one unit.
You know what? That's why we like having different type guests on the show, because I thought you had to lift a lot of weights. And you just said, you know, you're not going to be able to fly if you kind of bulk up. But I'm wondering, like, because I see shoulders and everybody's ripped up. So maybe I just need to do more push-ups. I don't know. But let me talk to you also about, I know you're doing stuff with cross ropes. I'm a huge jump rope guy. Then you mentioned tonal. Like, how did you decide what's things you're going to endorse, not endorse? Talk to me about those things.
Yeah. So first, kind of the efficacy of the product. Does it work? And tonal, I love this, and it's not an advert for tonal, but I love it because I literally came across it out of nowhere. They had a pop-up in the mall, and I was like, what is this? And as an elite athlete at the Olympic Training Center through a collegiate pipeline, I've been subjected to every training modality there is known to mankind, like everything. And I gave it a go, and within 20 minutes I was sweating. It was a full body workout. The strength systems were remarkable. The apparatus itself is a masterclass in technology, design, and everything. So I loved what it did, because I had been through programs that I had to be so in tune with strength training that this one was one of the ones that really replicated that. At the same time, I recognized that, like, from beginner to pro athlete, it had every program or capability there. When it comes to cross rope, it was brought to me by the brand and an agency that was doing it. I was like, I haven't jumped rope since I was like in middle school. What is this? And then I was like, oh, this was always something like kind of not even middle school, maybe elementary school. And then I had never thought about what integrating it into a high intensity workout would be. Gave it a go and was like, oh, wow, like my arms are dead. Cardio wise, it's super, like you're getting the spurts of heart rate going way off the charts, and then recovery. And then in terms of brand endorsement and ambassadorship, it's a great question because it's very timely. Kind of all about the values of the product. Does it work? First of all, does it work? Would I use it? And then let's look at the company. What do they value as an organization? What's their culture? What's their corporate equality index? How are they taking a stand on issues of social justice, gender equity, and things that kind of build a brand equity more than just, hi, buy this phone case, or this computer's really good, you should use it. So yeah, I really take a close look at that as I work with brand partners.
Josh, let me ask you, I mean, there's so many things we want to ask you, so many different topics, but one of the things we wanted to definitely ask you about was gymnastics is such a demanding sport. And I think the people who put the most pressure on themselves are the gymnasts themselves. You talked a lot about, as you were early in the sport at Stanford, how you were so hard on yourself and trying to be such a perfectionist that it seemed as though that was hurting your game more than anything else. But that you also knew you had to actually put in the actual work that was necessary. Can you talk a little bit about what was the light bulb that went on for you when you were at Stanford that took your game to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great parts to that question of any athlete. You hate to lose, or for me, I would hate to lose more than I enjoyed winning. And because it's just like I internalize it as I'm not maximizing what I know I can do, or I'm not really entering with a level of preparedness that would allow me to produce a very good result. So there's always that competitive aspect. In terms of kind of leveling up in the sport, a lot of it was, and I've spoken about this several times, a lot of it was my coach, JD Reeve, who really took an interest in his athletes beyond what he could get out of them in the athletic arena. So building better people of, what's going on in your personal life? What are you struggling with? What's exciting you? Where do you want to go when you're done with sport? Because we all know once you go through that program, he's gonna pull out of you athletically what you need to produce, because he's a genius technician. The program, you feel a responsibility to the university, to the program to win. So that's a given. And it was really him showing me, you're going to have to suffer a little bit, a lot of it, and it's not going to be fun. You're going to go through days or weeks of training where it's just push through, because you're going to be better for it. And at a competition, if a scenario comes up, if you're sick, if you're a little bit injured, if something's off, you've gone through that scenario time and time again in training. You've gone to that headspace, you know how to deal. And that kind of work that no one really sees, that's what's coming through when you're out competing or performing or showing your craft. I attribute a lot of my success and in the mental space, which then transferred into accepting the work, not being dramatic. I would bring so much drama into the training sessions every day. Like, if something wasn't going perfectly, I would temper tantrums, tears. I would be held there through the club practice that came in after the collegiate practice. And then kind of junior, senior year, I started to get it. A lot of that also attributed to kind of being myself more outside of the competitive or training arena. So kind of the weight of that was lifted. So navigating hard work was made a lot easier.
Got you. And, I guess my follow-up to that question is, gymnastics is a very unique sport in that when you're competing for a team, you're also competing for individual stuff at the same time. So, while the team may advance, you're also trying to advance in the individual different apparatuses. How do you deal with that when you can say, okay, I did not do well on the pommel horse at all, but I did really good on the high bar. So I'm going to advance in the high bar, but the pommel horse, which is one of my favorite ones, I'm not going to advance in, but I still have to remember I'm part of the team as well. How do you all deal with that?
Yeah, it's really interesting. When it's at the collegiate level, when you're competing for your university, there's actually less pressure. And I will quote Billie Jean King of "Pressure is a privilege." But when you're doing it for a group, the pressure's kind of off yourself. You've done the work. You've killed yourself. We had a very competitive team that even if you were the best in the country on an event, if you messed up in the practice meet and someone took your spot, like, one, that sucked, but two, it's going to be the best six on the floor. And that when you're out competing, it's just, okay, this is the best group going. Now let's do it for each other. Whereas in the U.S. program, there really isn't that type of, or when I was in it, there wasn't that type of camaraderie because you weren't training together every day. The hardest part about making a U.S. team is getting out of the country, because there's a pool of rich talent here, and it's kind of cutthroat. Oh, am I going to make the national team? And am I going to make the world team? That the camaraderie is lost a little bit, or it wasn't quite there as it was at the collegiate level. So actually competing in the NCAA was a lot more fun, a lot less pressure, at least in my experience, because it took a lot of the onus. You knew that your teammates had your back and vice versa. Whereas in a U.S. program, it's like, oh, now it's someone else's shot to make that team or to prove to a selection committee that so-and-so would be better positioned. And it's just a lot of, it's less team-oriented feel.
Gotcha.
You know what, Josh? You said something a little bit a while ago. You said that you had a lot of stuff going on and you would literally throw temper tantrums at practice and stuff. And I think I read where once you came out and told people, make sure I'm saying this right, that you was openly gay, you started feeling better. So do you think that was the thing that helped you come out and then start working better and then start practicing better and still start competing better? Because I'm just thinking that had to be a lot of pressure on you. I'm a college basketball coach and I played basketball. And it's already like a lot of pressure on us because you said, I would rather, I hate to lose. So we all hate to lose and we got a lot of pressure on us anyway. So how did that make you feel after you came out and told people that, hey, I'm coming out the closet, hey, I'm this and I'm that?
Yeah, kind of on the line of hating to lose. I felt like in not being my authentic self, I was losing so much of myself to fear, to just the rhetoric in sports, to just like hiding who I was instead of just not having to say like, hey guys, I'm gay, I like guys, but kind of just going in knowing that, okay, this is me and it's celebrated, loved, accepted, and just making that messaging known, like that didn't exist in sports, or at least in our locker room, or frankly in the collegiate realm at that time. It was still pretty, like, I don't want to say hush hush, but it was not a nice and welcoming framework for the LGBT community in sports at that in 2010, 2011, 2009, 9, 10, 11 ish.
Around that time. Gotcha.
And thankfully to one of my dear friends and athletes on another team who had been out even prior to entering Stanford, I saw what that looked like in a very normal capacity on his team. And it gave me kind of the confidence of, oh, okay, that this is normal. First of all, a lot of it's internal fear and anxiety that he helped me get over. It was knowing that I had a sounding board and a mentor like my coach and a group of guys and teammates and friends and family that were supportive outside of that. So kind of all of those boxes were checked once I had that conversation with myself.
Gotcha. Once again, we're being joined by Josh Dixon here on What's Up Cuz. Lance, you got a follow-up for Josh?
Yeah, I was just thinking, Josh, like, I'm at least glad that you had a person that you could talk to. Because sometimes when you play sports, like, you know, we all want to do the best that we can do. And from what I'm learning as a coach now, it's good to have somebody that you can talk to that can help us through some of those tough situations that we deal with every day. So I'm glad you had a coach or somebody that you could open up to. Because in the end of it, looking at you, you a hell of an athlete and you are a good person. And I think that all that matters. When I was in a locker room, I just wanted people that was going to play hard, people that was going to do the best that they could do. So I want to give you the best. I'm saying that. And then also this too now, you really like politics from what I'm reading now. So what position are we running for? Are we running for governor? Like, what are we doing? Because I'm going to work on your campaign. You don't know it, but I told Jason, so talk to me about what you might do or if you will run for politics, because you're so outspoken, you're big in social justice issues. I'm not going to shortchange you. So come on, talk to us.
Yeah, So I've always been intrigued by politics, public service, and a lot of that stems from my perspective on life. Like I was adopted into a loving family, very diverse family. I know that my life would have gone a different way if not for my parents, because we knew what the situation was with our biological mother. And as I got older and more aware that a lot of what I was afforded growing up and that opportunity, that's a rarity in itself, let alone, holy crap, like I know what the other side of the coin would have looked like. And so kind of my responsibility to give that back wherever I can, whether that's in a public service capacity, who knows? I don't strive to be an elected representative. Oftentimes that's kind of where it goes wrong of, I want the people to vote for me, and it's a vanity play rather than a service play when it's just a right fit. But yeah, I think I would like to do that at some point. Right after I finished gymnastics, actually, I was on the coordinated campaign for now Senator Cortez Masto and Hillary Clinton in Nevada. I was literally grassroots campaign, registering people to vote, doing get out the vote efforts out in Summerlin in Las Vegas. And then I worked in her office as the first Latina elected to the United States Senate under the previous administration, which was an interesting time and place to be there under Senator Cortez Masto. But yeah, it was a necessary learning. If ever I wanted to get into that space, I had touched it, worked it, felt it, but it's open for the future.
Josh, and I thought about that. I thought about that. You were working in what was in my lifetime one of the most politically stressful times, from 2016 to January 2021 here. Your thoughts just on the general political climate right now in the United States?
I didn't know we were going political here. I was not briefed on
everything.
No, I think it's getting better. Like predictability. That's what people want. We have a leader, someone who has a lifetime of experience of service and allows a sense of calm and predictability for what's to come in the forever changing world that we live in. So I think that's what was needed, not a lot of the same rhetoric of divisive comments and antics and non-leadership behavior. And I think we are in the right direction.
Right. And inclusivity too. I think, the previous administration was dividing us so much, and everyone who was representing the country all looked the same. And, I was very happy when our current president stepped in and put his administration in. You can see the diversity of people. It makes it look more like the current state of America. And, on that note, let's talk about your newest endeavor here in Chicago, which we are very happy to hear about. You were part of a new ownership groups that have been brought into our Chicago Red Stars. It's a very diverse group, people from all sorts of different backgrounds and different experiences. And, let me just ask you, what made you decide you wanted to be an investor in our Chicago Red Stars?
Yeah, I was like, ooh, this is a perfect segue of the table that has been set at the highest level of the United States government looks like a round table that Arnim Whistler has gathered as owners in the Chicago Red Stars, because representation matters, voices, opinions, expertise come in all shapes and sizes and from all different types of people. But yeah, as to the why, my colleagues at the Audible Group, who they transact and consult in sports media and entertainment, they approached me with the opportunity to be an owner and an investor for all the reasons of what the mission is. It's representation, it's gender equity, it's pay equity, it's leveling up women in sports, leveling up athletes, and a typically underrepresented group of athletes in the American sports landscape, in the world sports landscape. And I thought about it for about 2 seconds and said, yeah, like, let me a little bit more about pro ownership business model. Like, I had never made an investment like this before. And it really aligned with one, because I was like, typically you think pro sports owners like billionaire white dudes. But I was like, that's not me. But it aligned with kind of who I was. I know from subject matter expertise what that looks like in the world of sports. That here's an amazing pipeline of women who come out of a collegiate circuit who've spent 20 years developing their craft, and if they're not one of the amazing 20-something on the women's national team, there really wasn't a place for them to continue something that they've put most of their life into. And so enter the NWSL. That's their mission. That's their mandate. That's what they've been trying to do. If I can come to the table, bring my resources, bring my expertise in sport, bring a little bit of business acumen to that space, then great. Because I know what that looks like, and I would love to be a part of the mission of leveling up women's sports, women's soccer in the United States.
Yeah, well, we're definitely glad to have you in Chicago as one of the co-owner of one of our women's teams. I know we do a lot with the Red Stars here with our show. We also do a lot with our Chicago Sky, which is our WNBA team here in Chicago as well. And, you know, for years, you know, the women's sports haven't been getting the coverage that they deserved or the financial backing that they deserve. So I thought it was really key, some of the stuff that you and Israel Adonijay, who was also a part of that group, came out and said, like, you know, we got to put the money where our mouth is behind this sport to see it grow. What is the thing that you think is going to be the real key to seeing the NWSL grow here in the next few years?
Internally, building brand equity of why should fans care? Why should we value sports as a conduit to building better human beings? And it's representation for all the little girls out, literally generations of girls that can see, oh my God, there are professional players. Here's the pipeline to do it. And from sports as a unifying entity, that's something that kids can see from day one. And that was my experience of, I want to be an athlete. Okay, great. Here's the program. Junior collegiate pipeline. If you're really good, Team USA, and then kind of that's it. But just so long as they know that opportunity exists. And I was also thinking about it in terms of just women's soccer, because I'm not a soccer savant. I didn't know too much about the technical components of it. But then I was like, wait a second. My first foray into soccer was when Brandy Chastain, PK,
took the shirt off,
Nike Sports Bra, and it's like, okay, win. Olympics, win. World Cup, win. Win. They're so good. They've set the expectation of winning, and anything less than that is newsworthy. Very similar to the Serena Williams of the world is. She makes headlines when she loses because the expectation is winning. So if that's our expectation for women's soccer, why would there not be like an equal financial component to it or leveled up playing field where, the entertainment value and emotional value is off the charts, but you're still making way less than your male counterparts in the league and any male professional in sports. It's like, that's just so wrong. And perfect. I always parallel it to the case study of equal pay in tennis. It's like it took a long time. It took way too long. Billie Jean King. I love tennis. I'm obsessed. I probably love tennis more than I've ever loved gymnastics. But it's the same exact case study happening in real time. And the people who are responsible for it are the sponsors, the TV networks, the pools of money that can be earmarked for women's sports, especially those who are tried, tested, and proven for the past 20 years that they are the best in the world. And then specific to Chicago, like the oldest and winningest program in women's soccer. They made 6 straight semis, 2 straight championships. So it's incumbent upon the outside entities that have the dollars that really need to start putting their values before a bottom line and leveling up the sport that way.
Gotcha.
So I would be so hard pressed to think that any senior executive, I'm not going to call out any names just so of companies, so I don't get in hot water, but like, would you tell your daughter, like, okay, here's $1 billion Fortune 500 corporation, but we're going to value this, our endorsement or sponsorship of this team lower because it's women's soccer, no one cares. Like, could you literally tell your daughter that, or your niece or your sister that? Like, I don't think so. So it's incumbent upon the outside players that have the resources to bear for this team, this league, and these women.
I tell you what, Josh, that was well said, but I know we're about to let you go for a little while. But before you go now, Josh, I need a couple of things for you. Now, first, when you run for government, make sure Jason and I are on your team. Well, screw Jason, just me. I don't know about Jason. And secondly, I'm one of the best jump rope guys in this whole country. So I need to call your cross rope people. Can you get me a couple of cross ropes?
Okay, crossroads and representation. Okay, I think I can make that happen. I was like, you guys are entrenched in the Chicago marketplace. It's like, would the return ask be, how do I meet Jennifer Hudson? You guys must know her.
Jay Hud? Oh, that's our
girl.
girl.
Know what we could get you though.
Yeah,
we could get you. Hey Jay, I know we could get that, but we could get him a really good tennis coach, Kamal Murray.
This is true.
Tennis coach. I get you a couple of tennis lessons for some cross ropes.
This is true.
Okay.
He coaches Sloan Stevens, so yeah, that's our guy. Kamal. He got a few people out there on the tour.
Here we are, just wheeling and dealing.
No, we had to have fun on the show, but I appreciate you. Go ahead, Jay.
We really appreciate you coming on, Josh, and we wish you the best of luck. And we're really proud for you to step up and help out our Red Stars here in Chicago, and just all the other things that you are doing. And I mean, it's so much stuff that Josh is doing. We could not get it all in a half hour, but make sure you follow him on Twitter, Josh N. Dixon, at Josh N. Dixon. I mean, he's constantly doing stuff. And we just really appreciate you taking some time out of your day here to spend some time with us, man. And we look forward to having you back soon. We're actually going out to a Red Stars game in July. So we will be out there actually at the game. We worked something out with them, so we will be out there.
Perfect. Yeah, I know the home opener is this weekend. I'll actually be out there. And then probably again the first week in June. But I'm really excited to meet a lot of the other owners and investors in person and kind of get the game experience and learn and kind of dive into this world that I'm very passionate about helping in any capacity.
All right. We appreciate it, Josh. Josh Dixon, everybody. Say hello to our homegirl, Sarah Gordon, when you go to the game on this weekend. Tell Sarah we say hello.
Perfect.
Right.
I will.
All right. Take it back, Josh. That's going to do it for our episode of What's Up, Cuz. I'm Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, Lancey Irvin. We are out of here. We will see you next week on What's Up, Cuz. Peace out.